Hi, BookTube. Welcome to Jack's Literary Corner. I am Jack. So the cruise is coming up, and I probably won't be making any videos next week because of it, since I don't know how to do vlogs or anything like that via like my phone, or even like uploading videos through my phone. I'm sure it's probably really easy, but I'm too lazy to figure it out, and I'm one of those people that I can't just figure it out on my own. I have to have someone help me figure it out. But well, first I'm going to talk about two. I'm going to talk about the books I'm going to take on the cruise, and yes, I said books, but as in plural. And then I'm going to right when I get back, I will be participating in a readathon that I just heard about. That's going to be all month of July. It's a new readathon that was just created by Holly Hart's Books, and I will tell you all about it after I tell you guys about the books I am bringing on the cruise. So my original So this one I already mentioned in my previous videos that I was definitely gonna bring, and that is Way of Kings. Because my original, when we first started talking about going on this cruise, and I was thinking about it, and like buying clothes for it, and I know that I can't really have my laptop or anything like that, and I was thinking that maybe I should just bring a really big book, a tome, with me on the cruise. So that's why I decided to go ahead, and I wanted to progress a lot in this book. This is Brandon Sanderson's. I think someone referred to it as his magnum opus kind of book, kind of like what is it? Like what's that book series he took over? I can't remember. Like he took over after the author died. It's like at the tip of my tongue, but I cannot think of it. But all I know is there's a lot of main characters, and I mean, even though I've read quite a bit. Like I mean, I can't really sum it up. But anyway, I know there's storm magic, kind of something to do with storm magic. Now, not like that one series that the second book is is going to be coming out this year, I believe. With it was the YA. It's a YA series. I can't think of what it's called at the moment, but that one also kind of involves storm magic. But this is not like that. So I'm gonna bring this. And then I can't help it. I have to bring at least more than one book, even if I bring a big chunky book. So I had got this for my birthday this year from my sister, and that is Misery by Stephen King. And this one I can tell you what it's about. This author, Paul Sheldon, while he's driving, he crashes his car in the middle of nowhere and is rescued by his biggest fan, what is her name? Annie Wilkes. And she's decided to nurse him back to health and basically and then it turns out she's decided to hold him hostage because he has written this, one of her all-time favorite series, and she did not like what happened to her favorite character in the series, so she's holding him hostage until he rewrites the story. And she does a lot of crazy things. I mean, I'm trying to think, because I know what one of the things that she does to his foot is different in the book than in the movie. The movie starring Kathy Bates as Annie Wilkes, and I know the actor who plays Paul Sheldon, but I cannot remember. James Caan. That's right. Of course, I remember right after I say that. And I just thought this, first of all, it doesn't look that big, and second of all, I always feel like I need to read. I feel like guilty if I don't read books that I just got for Christmas or my birthday or somewhere got ordered for me. So I feel like, okay, I better read them. Show my whoever got them for me that I'm reading the books. So I decided to go ahead and bring this. And plus, it's not as chunky as like The Stand or Needful Things. So I figured I need to start reading at least another Stephen King book that I can finish. And The Shining is another one that's a little bit chunkier than this one. So, although let's see how many pages is this one. Oh, yep, it really is shorter because I think The Shining is over 600 pages, and this one is like it's close to 400, or actually no, it's it's close to 350. Or it is 350. Yes. 300. Oh wait, no, this is. Yeah, it's 351 pages. It's 350, so that's definitely short compared to the other ones. And I didn't want to bring one of the short stories, so. And then the other book I'm gonna bring, the third book, and so it was between this one and the Clockmaker's Daughter, which I finally bought. I finally got around to buying it. The latest Kate Moore book. It's between that one and then this one, Spinning Silver. But I decided to bring this one. And in a way, it's kind of inspired by Terry because it's a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, and we met via Once Upon a Time, and our favorite character on the show is Rumpel. So it's kind of it's like a elaborate connection of inspiration. So, and this I might use for the readathon that I'm about to talk about. So, although it is reaching a little bit for one of the prompt I would use it for. But anyway, like I said, this is a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, and I think our main character is Jewish. And okay, so I can hear downstairs that they're getting dinner ready, so I better get started talking. Okay, so this readathon is called the Medievalreadathon, and she has two sets of prompts. She has the build your own armor with prompts, and then she also has choose your weapon prompts, and you don't have to do it. And she has all these different, and I'll post a link to her video. Although I have a video that I'm gonna be watching while my video's uploading. I will post the link to the video. So you can get the whole gist of the readathon. It's like I said, it's gonna be all month, and with the prompts, she also has levels. Like if you read one book, you're a peasant. If you read two books, you are considered I can't remember. I know one of them. I know that 6 books is a king or a queen. 3 books I think is a knight, and I think 2 books is a squire. I think, and then 4 books. I don't. Well, like I said, I'll post the link to the announcement video along with this upload. So the prompts are for the build your armor. You have number 1 is a crown, a book where a character fights for the throne. Which do I even have that yet? I don't know if any of these even apply to that. I'll come back to I don't know if any of these apply. Well, I can use wait, I think I could get away with using this one for that prompt. I can use this one for that prompt and the shiny prompt. And the one spinning silver I was gonna also potentially use for the shiny prompt because silver is shiny. But yeah, I can use this for the shiny prompt and this prompt because I think one of our main protagonists, Reza, is fighting for her throne and not letting it get in the hands of the wizards. The Demon King, the first book in the Seven Realms series. I keep meaning to. I mean, I have read a little bit already, but I keep meaning to, read more of it and get really into it. But for some reason, there's so many other books that I want to read, and it's not that I'm not interested and not excited about this book. It's just you see shiny new books, and then you get excited about those books at the time, and the problem, my issue is that I don't always like long chapters, and this does have long chapters. So, but yeah, and this is one of the books I do want to finish right when I get back from the cruise anyway. So, I can use this one for fighting a character fighting for the throne. Okay. Oh, there's another book I want to tell you guys about that has nothing to do with the readathon, but it's I got a friend of ours who reads. He will give me some of his books. He reads like a wide variety of books, although as I told Terry, I imagine he has his limits of books he won't read, and he has favorite types of books. But one of the books he gave me got me I was very surprised and also very excited at the same time that he had it. But anyway, I'll share that book in a little bit once I finish. Okay, so Helmet, a book with a dragon on the cover. Okay, so I had quite a few choices, but I decided, originally I was thinking about this one, the Jade Throne. Go ahead and start the second one of the Temeraire series. But then there's also I need to read. Where is it? Also, I do need to get back into reading this one, another Stephen King book, one of his fantasy books. And I had heard that he was dared to write this kind of book, write this type of book. It's like about kingdoms and stuff like that. I don't remember I don't know the actual premise, but I recently heard someone talk about this book, and it sounded more interesting than I realized. So at that time, I got really excited and really interested in reading it, like political intrigue kind of things. So, but I don't remember what they said. So I do need to get to this book. But my official one is, is this one. Priory of the Orange Tree, which as you can see I've progressed in this one. You have two nations. One nation, believes, follows, one nation who is all about dragons, loves dragons, and they're dragon warriors. And then you have the nation who fears the dragons, but both nations fear this one dragon they call the Nameless One. He's a big threat, and they have just recently found out that this dragon is possibly awakening. And his little minions, his general, and his other dragon pals are all rising again. And this other little nation has been taken over by his general. And and the queen of the dragon, of the realm, the nation that fears dragons, has been basically told that she has to, it's her family line they believe their family, the Raw family, is what protects them from the dragons or the worms. They're Wyrims. I always thought it was worms, but I heard someone say Wyrims. I don't know. Anyway, she has to get married and make an heir to continue the line because her family line protects their nation from the dragons. And there are several characters involved in the story, and there's multiple points of view, which is my favorite type of story. I love the stories. I love how they take a long time for me to read, but I love stories when there's all these different stories going on, and you're just trying to wonder how they all connect and how they're all going to come together. It's just they take a long time and a lot of patience. And I gotta admit, it's easier to watch it on a TV show or in a movie than, well, more so a TV show, because with a movie, it cuts it down, the story down quite a bit. So I would love for this to be a TV show, and I haven't even gotten halfway, and I already feel that way. But which I'm gonna read this a little bit tonight. I want to read this tonight, or maybe read it in bed. I don't know, but there's quite a few other books that I need to read. But anyway, yeah, see, the dragon. It's all about dragons, so I thought it would be perfect for that. And this is a definite one I'm gonna read. But like I said, I have two other options: Throne of Jade and The Eyes of the Dragon. Okay, so next, prompt number 3. Oh, that was the helmet book. A helmet book with a dragon on the cover. And then number 3 is the breastplate, a shiny book. Like I said, I could use that one, the dragon, the Demon King, or the other. There's, let's see, or like I said, Spinning Silver has a little bit of shine on it, a little shininess on it. But that I figure, but the Demon King might has a bigger shininess on it. And I think that applies. I think you can use, as long as there's something shiny on the book, either the title or the cover. Either way, I'll have to watch her video just to make sure. If not, then I don't have any shiny books. Okay, so next you have the leggings, which is the metal on the knights wear on their legs. And that is read a thick paperback. So I think any of these really could apply. Because a lot of these are quite thick. This one this one definitely could, like, all these can count for that. Although I could also read John Gwynn's book, so that's up there, Malice, and I do need to finish that one so that I can finally get the order the second one online. So this is for another prompt, but this is a pretty thick one. I mean, really, that's Fest of Swords, but any of these could really apply. Like, most of these, with the exception of, like, at least 2 of these, can't really, I mean, because she basically, and like I said, I'll post the link to the video, but Holly did say that it depends on your definition of thickness. You know, it's not like there's going to be any strict rules on thickness. And sometimes books that are 500 plus pages don't look that thick because they're, they use Bible thin pages. But yeah, I can use that for that. But I'm also using this for another prompt. Okay, next is the boots, because you can't walk around barefoot, especially in this time period, because you're going to be spending a lot of time outside. A book that is yellowed over time. I don't have that. I mean, do I have any old books I've had a long time? No, I think most of my books are pretty yellow. Pretty white still. So I don't think I have any books that have yellowed over time. I could change and pick a yellow book. So, a book that has yellowed over time is prompt 5. Okay, so prompt number 6, cloak. Okay, so on this, the image of the cloak, because she created a little chart, is red. So, a book with a red dust jacket. So, I went ahead, so I don't have any, like, actual fantasy books that are like that, except for, oh, wait. Oh, I could come back to this one for another time. So, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna come back to that one. Okay, so, I think I might go ahead and go to this one. Enchante. I did mean to read this one soon. much about it. I just know that it was a new release last, was it last year? But either way, by Gita Trelease. And it's set in France, I believe. And it was one that I heard a lot about. Heard it was really great, and I was really excited about the time, but I don't remember off the top of my head what it's about. So, I think I'm gonna use this one instead. Because, although I do need to read that nonfiction book, Something Wonderful, which is about Rogers and Hammerstein. But I figured this one might be better because it's more fantasy related. It is medieval, a medieval readathon. So, okay, so like I said, so that's a cloak with a red dust jacket. Okay, so next set prompts is choose your weapons, because you can't live in a medieval world without a weapon, without knowing how to defend yourself. So, a book with something pointy on the cover. Okay, well, this is... Okay, so... I'm gonna go... This is one I do need to... Okay, so... This, I have two... Okay, so I have... So I'm gonna use this book for the pointy thing, because this book could apply to another prompt on here, in this section, but I'm gonna use this one for the pointy because the guy has a sword. So, but this also, like I said, so although she does say on her announcement video, it doesn't have to actually be a sword. It can be something like, there is, like, I do need to read Clash of Kings, so I could use that one for pointy. Is there anything pointy on this one? Not really. Nothing pointy. Well, let's count this. But I feel like that would be reaching a little too much. So, I'll go with this, because, like I said, it's about a group of mercenaries. But they were badass a long time ago, but now they're old guys. They're old and grumpy and grouchy and, fat and stuff like that. And then one of them has a daughter who followed in her father's footsteps and decided to be, but the problem is she is now trapped in a city that was just invaded, so the father decides to get the band back together and go save her. And it has a lot of references actually to, it has a lot of references to those old 80s bands back in the day, hence the title, Kings of Wild, like why it sounds like a rock band name. It's not, the chapters are really short. It's not that long, but it is a chunky book. Well, actually, chapter 10 is kind of long. It feels pretty long. And I've been told it's really funny and has a lot of, like, that adult dad joke humor in it. So I figured, as long as it doesn't have too many fart jokes. I don't mind fart jokes, but sometimes they do get old. Like, if it's not, as long as it's not exactly like Dumb and Dumber, for instance, with the humor. And it helps, of course, that it's, like, medieval set. So that's what I use for the pointy, something pointy. And then, okay, so next prompt is Daggers, a book with assassins. I do not have that one in the, although I guess I could use Empire Storms with that one. Is there any other books that I have that have assassins in them? Did I? Oh, well, actually, I could use, for an assassin, like an actual assassin doing assassinating, I could use, what is it? Where is it? I could use Assassin's Quest. there's not really a lot of assassinating, but you know, but I do need to read Empire Source. So I don't know. I might read a book for that. And then that's the Daggers. That's Daggers, a book on assassins. And then number 3, bows and arrows. The obvious, of course, most common fantastical creature that uses bow and arrow is the elves. So a book with elves. So this might be reaching here, but I went ahead and and this is one I do need to read soon because I want to get that whole series done before the fall because I believe the show is, or at least get up to date with the series, read as much of the series as I can before autumn comes around because that is when they will, although I think it's on a streaming network. I don't think it's going to be on TV. I think it's going to be on a streaming network. So that's good because I can watch whenever I want. But the Witcher series, and this is a book about this guy who's he fights monsters and he kills them and stuff like that. He's kind of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, except for he's a guy and it's a medieval world, and there are elves in this world. It's not the main. So I'm trying to think of, are there any other books that have elves as main characters? I guess I could go with ElfQuest, but then that's even more long. I don't know if I have any other books with elves. But anyway, I got rid of Lord of the Rings. I just went in and gave it to Terry because who knows if I am ever gonna read that series. I'm sorry, but it's too. I just rather watch the movies. This is his. What the author did is he wrote two books before the main series that are a collection of short stories introducing the character and the world he lives in and all the people he knows and all of his adventures. And then the actual story takes off with the Blood of Elves being the first book with the actual story. So I have to read this first before I get to Blood of Elves. So, and like I said, there are elves in this world, so I think, I'm bound there's going to be elf characters. Maybe not the main characters, but they're still going to be in there, so. If I do come across a book, something other than ElfQuest that has elves in it, then maybe I'll pick that one up. But for right now, I'm going with this one. Sword of Destiny. Okay, so next is number 4, an X. And this is when this book applies again, and that is Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan. This is the first volume. The series actually started as original ebooks, and then I'll be right down. And this is the first one. As you can see, I've read a lot, enough that I can tell you what it's about. It's a group, these two mercenaries, and they are hired to retrieve a sword, but they end up getting framed for killing the king because right when they're retrieved, it turns out it's a setup to kill the king. So they, with the help of the princess and the prince, they go on a mission to find out what's going on and everything, and they help the prince get back his throne and defeat his uncle who wants to steal the throne. And that's what the first novella is about. I don't know what the second one, I'm guessing it continues the story, obviously, but I don't know if there's any, I do have theories about, like, we're gonna find out about, not Royce, but, Hadrian. I think we're gonna find out some interesting thing about Hadrian, but I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm correct in who Hadrian is, but I think I have an idea of who he's gonna be more than he seems. And I totally have a crush on him. And it's okay if I have a crush on him because he's actually an adult character, I think. Because most of the time, because I read a lot of YA, a lot of my favorite characters are like teenagers. A lot of the male characters I like. But then there's also But I'm definitely getting more into adult fantasy and adult books. So, anyway, so I will, like I said, I will post the link to her video, to Holly's video where she talks about this readathon, and you'll probably get a better idea of what the readathon is about. Like I said, I wanted to get that TBR done and out of the way, and share it with you guys before I left for the cruise, because, well, and I figured I better do it now because, well, I'm working the next 4 days. So fun. But you know what? I need, it's good because I'm taking a week off, and the more you work, the more money. So anyway, as always, I hope you guys are enjoying your reading. And if you are interested in this readathon, I would love to know, and I'd love to know what you want to read for it. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and click subscribe if you haven't already. And I will talk to y'all later. Alright. Oh, and click the bell icon below if you want to know when I'm going to be posting more videos. Okay, bye!